people like Jeffree Star think, oh, they're only pushing back against the non-binary people. But it's like, mate, they'll push them back and then they'll push you back.
You would literally be a walking felony about 60, 70 years.
His ego is insufferable.
Him coming out with his stupid, snarky little comment.
He's finally going to face the repercussions, clearly.
Doesn't even know if he works for him. That's like,
genuinely
that is terrible. Like, it's lucky that guy is like genuinely well off anyway, because
like 200 employees there who probably aren't that well
I
off.
can imagine there's some people there that are like,
He's made himself out to be a complete and utter bella.
I mean, that's just sad, isn't it? That's just so sad.
You know the phrase lolcow? That's pretty much what she is now. It's basically a person that is only known for being dramatic, sort of thing. And that's exactly what she is. She's the pinnacle of that, man.
You sort of see humans at their like absolute pinnacle of being as far away as possible from what they should be.
Today, like we've been doing recently, we're starting off with a little bit of an update. If you didn't realise, if you're new to the show, Aidan has a sick hobby of where he basically harasses a bunch of old people who have crippling dementia.
I'm a big part of the boomer fetish community.
We're basically currently running a Facebook account called what was it called?
It's Donna Smith. I mean, it's not as good as Wendy Bonkers Brown, but I just can't get into that account. So we're stuck with Donna the Dinner Lady.
Mate, Donna, she's clear at this point. And Aidan, what have you been doing recently on Donna Smith this week? Give me the updates.
Well, I thought I'd join some new pages.
Yeah.
I think I've been going into like people's hometowns. So I thought I'd go into more niche communities.
I just love that this is what you've been doing during your spare time. You said to you when you came earlier, you were like, I haven't left the house this week. And I was like, mate, it truly does show right now.
I'll get a scruffy beard, like my hair's growing too long.
You're just turning into like an actual incel. But you know like when in the World of Warcraft episode of South Park when you've got like the massive dude at the keyboard. That's that's literally gonna be you in these Facebook groups.
So I'll show you the screenshots.
Have you upset anybody this week?
I'll just show you how an iPhone works. Okay. On the photos, you just scrape right when you want to see the next photo.
All right, I do like it. I do like reading these out. Okay, so firstly, you've got into Brexit Britain, and Donna Smith has said, anyone know how to boil eggs without a kettle? And Stephen has...
I tell you what, Stephen, you are a rude man.
Stephen...
He starts getting all his mates in.
Mate, he's like a 70-year-old bloke. I'm not going to show you guys his profile picture. But there's a 70-year-old man who's kindly given Donna the advice of just saying, sauce... But I'm like, everyone... Mate, you just said that. Stephen has just tagged all his mates. He's tagged Blooming Jane and he's tagged Tracy Beaker.
He's literally gone, get a load of these dickheads.
You got Jack who said, lol, who doesn't? Usually when we go in these Facebook groups, you get a few people who instantly point it out as a troll. But in Brexit Britain, these people think Donna Smith is a fine content.
Because like they don't know the line between reality and fucking...
It explains a lot of the elections in this past. Yeah. So then you've replied to Stephen. So Stephen has kindly suggested using a saucepan to boil an egg without a kettle, and you've said, yeah, got that for the eggs, but need to boil water. And then
what would you do in that situation?
I'd probably stick on the kettle, mate, to be honest with you. But
Donna hasn't got one.
I mean, if she's got a saucepan, surely she can just put cold water in it and put it over the stove.
Could do. No one's suggesting that, though.
That is true. So Stephen has replied to that saying, have you not got a cooker to boil water on? So Stephen's been shoving in saucepans into his blooming oven.
Well, that's what I say, because the people...
You've said would oven work? Yeah. You're a sick bastard, man. This guy's probably not seen another human being for like 4 years.
There he is. He's tagged all his mates in it.
Stephen replied to you saying, yeah, I guess. Stephen is basically suggesting that you actually put a saucepan in the oven.
Do you know what just makes me laugh when people bite is that they're just having a conversation with an imaginary woman.
Mate, as I hold your phone, I'm getting notifications come through of people biting at Donna Smith. Yeah. He said, yeah, so he goes, yeah, I guess, don't you have heating rings on top? And Donna has said, yeah, that's for the egg. So is Donna Smith just turning on the stove, putting the egg somewhere else and putting the boiling water somewhere else as well?
Normally what Donna Smith does is boils the kettle, puts that in the saucepan with the eggs, and then puts that on the hob. We've
had a few people be like, make sure that you're being kind. We aren't ever saying anything mean to these people. We are just simply asking cultured questions.
These people are bullying themselves.
Yeah, mate, I do kind of rate the fact that people have actually given you written instructions. Put water and boil the eggs for like 5 minutes or longer, depending on how you...
You always get one person that feels sorry for me.
Hey, mate, everyone's really upset by this. Dario has come on saying, give me strength. Dario, don't be a bad bellend, mate.
I like the person that just put Jesus Christ. It's like, that's what you get for being in a group called...
Mate, Stephen's going in on you. Chris has said Jesus Christ, and Stephen said, has he got a kettle?
Mate, if you're in a group called Brexit Britain, mate, you deserve to be trolled.
And you've gone into the group saying, Barry Lineker, you need to grow a pair. And Donna is simply in the fields.
Mate, Donna is tranquil.
Mate, you got blooming 12 likes on that. You're famous. Yeah. Paul Blatt
Mole Cop says.
Paul Blatt has come along saying ignorance is bliss. Paul, shut up. Mate, everybody's blooming. Last week you didn't have many bites. This week people are genuine.
I think it's because last week I was clearly just posting absolute nonsense. But I think it's still funny enough.
Sorry, I've just seen your next post. You were saying that you're being tame or something.
Yeah.
You've gone back into Brexit Britain, and you've said, "Do you think that we should bring back the electric chair?" Yeah. And you've put a bloom with a little birthday cake.
Yeah, that's like Donna's last meal.
Mate, this is the face of a woman that wants to bring back the electric chair.
Yeah. Do you know what I like about them posts? There's always one person that agrees. Like, I think the top comment.
Debbie, you sick bastard.
Debbie's gone and hanging.
Debbie has said definitely and hanging. And mate, the thing I love about these is like you look at Debbie's profile picture. Again, I won't show it, but it's just her posing with like a mum or something.
Mate, it's absolutely hilarious how people are there's like so many people just openly wanting the death penalty back. They're
it's
absolutely
not just that,
gagging.
Mate. People are like absolutely horrific on the internet, and their profile picture is just them and their dad going.
Yeah.
David has said, do you think we should bring back the guillotine? Honestly, Stephen says, France only abolished using the guillotine in 1975. Mate, they had a proper historical debate going on.
Yeah, they did. That's what Donna does. She provokes academic conversations.
Sorry. This is the exact opposite of what this is. Sorry, but you've gone into the London Badminton Club. Yeah. How did you find the London Badminton Club?
Donna really wants to. Well, she's got really bad osteoarthritis, and she just needs a bit of movement to stop being so stiff all the time.
So she's going down to London Badminton Club.
Yeah, any London Badminton Club.
So Donna Smith has made the brave statement of after the Gary Lineker incident, and I can't be able to explain what Gary. If you don't know who Gary Lineker is, he's just a bloke who apparently likes crisps in a certain connotation.
Yeah.
Donna has said, "Sorry, I will not be eating Walker's crisps after the Gary Lineker debacle." Not debacle. It's a disgrace. In brackets. Do love salt and vinegar. Lol, heart eye emoji, and once again Donna has fucking whipped out the birthday cake, and James has come along saying, why on earth would you stop eating Walker's crisps? I like that he's not even like, that's a silly statement to make. He's actually just kind of offended that you're no longer eating blooming Walker's.
Staple of any good badminton player's diet.
If you're an American and you don't, or European actually, because we're the only country that seem to do it, Walker's is Lay's chips pretty much. Mate, it just seems that you've been on an absolute rampage. I'm going through these posts right now. You're just asking the most stupid questions. You're going to blooming Lincoln Group and said, does anyone know where I can get some packaged wafer thin ham sold out at Asda? And the grandkid is in cahoots. And mate, fair play to the people of Lincoln. They're genuinely giving like proper advice, telling you where to go. Lidl, farm.
Do you know why I kept that one in last? Because I thought, I don't even know if what I've done's funny there. I've just gone into a page and asked where I can get some ham.
You've just made yourself out to be a bellend because you've gone to cause chaos, but people have just, the kind British citizens have replied, just being nice, man. Yeah. They don't know that there's some
Lincoln is genuinely filled with just nice people. Do you remember the Waggy Mamas post?
And Paul Breach.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do remember the Waggy
Mamas. Just people like, this would be such a sweet post
if it wasn't a troll.
If it wasn't.
I logged into my Facebook the other day to message you, and I just randomly clicked on Donna Smith, and as I said to you, I saw it was like active 5 hours ago, and I was like, this dickhead's been just like doing some absolute nuisance.
I've been stirring. The pot's there. You've
just been an absolute knob, pretty much.
Yeah.
But other than terrorising the old people of this country, have you been having a good week?
Yeah, I mean that's all I've been doing.
mate, you are one sad bastard.
Actually, I felt fucking awful yesterday because I had a really big lunch, and about 3:30 I had some cheese and coleslaw rolls.
Oh God, Jesus Christ, that is an absolute abomination.
And I had 2 of them, and then for like the next 6 hours I felt like death.
Oh yeah, mate, you've had cheese and coleslaw. Did you say it's a coleslaw?
Incredible.
Coleslaw. How do you say coleslaw?
You say coleslaw.
Is it coleslaw? How do you say it? How do you
What
say
are you
it?
saying?
Mate, I don't know.
It's coleslaw.
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 Yeah.
Is that how you say it?
I think it's cold slaw.
Mate, you're mocking me and you can't even say it. Get some respect.
Mate, this is like the Binky Barnes incident all over again.
How is it the Binky Barnes incident?
You
Binky
see the comments where it was like, he's not a fucking dog.
Oh yeah,
he's not
we
a
should address
fucking
that
hippo.
in the last
Oh
episode.
no, he is a dog, isn't he? That's what I was
in the
saying.
last episode we spoke about Binky Barnes and Arthur, and then we were basically speaking about how Binky Barnes severely needs to get like some help for his weight issues. Just because I'm genuinely worried about his health. But me and Aidan were having a grand debate about whether I thought he was a bear, and Aidan mocked me and laughed at me saying I'm an idiot because I didn't realise
He was
that
a hippo.
he's a hippo.
Yeah.
A furry fucking hippo. Do you not think in hindsight how stupid that is?
Binky Barnes doesn't look furry.
Yeah, he does.
He's just yellow,
Mate,
smooth yellow.
he's got blooming bear ears. You telling me those ears aren't fluffy?
He looks like he's not a bear either.
Oh, he's got something going on. He's a dog, and dogs
He's a
are fluffy.
bulldog.
He's a bulldog, and we
Bulldogs aren't fluffy.
yeah, I mean they've got fur though, and
Doesn't
I
make
think
it fluffy,
yeah,
does
but
it?
a bear's not technically.
My
fluffy.
balls have got fur. Doesn't mean they're fluffy, does it?
Keep your balls away from this conversation. But, yeah, so apologies for misspeciing of Pinky Barnes, the big fat lad. But should we actually get into some topics today? So speak about some thingy bobs.
Let's get into it.
So, Mr. Beast, he's not been very beast this week. Basically, the entire internet has, for the last, it's been going on for a while now, but it seems it's really been coming into fruition for the last week. Mr. Bloomin' Beast has just been in a lot of controversy for a multitude of reasons. There's two specific incidents this week.
He can't escape it, can he?
Mr. Beast is going to see all the evil allegations, and he's one day just going to snap, and he's just going to buy a nuclear bomb. He's going to throw a dart at the dartboard, and it's going to be like a world map.
Yeah.
And wherever it lands, it can be Lincoln, it can be Kansas, it can be
Brexit Britain.
yeah, it can be anywhere. And he's just going to drop the nuke, and wherever it lands, and he's just going to turn to the camera and just give a little wink and say, "You fucking
What, and then he's going to call the video "Nuke in any country my dart lands on."
And in the thumbnail, he's just going to be like.
Yeah, to be fair, right, a man that can just like stare at a wall for 24 hours could probably like do some unhinged fucking shit like that.
There's so much controversy about Mr. Beast and everything that he does and the moral dilemmas of it. But the moral dilemma should be the fact that this man, me and you are the only ones that have brought this up in the last year because we said it before. But this man just stared at a wall and counted to like 1 million or something.
Yeah.
Said Logan Paul like 1 million times. I mean, if there's one reason to cancel this sick man, it's for that.
It's weird because them videos are genuinely more impressive as a human feat than anything he's doing these days.
That's really mean, man. You're gonna get some Mr. Beast fans get angry at this.
I'm complimenting him.
Wait, what? You just said that his videos then were better than what he's doing now.
They're well impressive.
Mate, this bloke is going to Africa and giving shoes to everybody.
Yeah, but that just requires a lot of money, doesn't it?
Yeah,
I mean, it's a good thing, but it requires a lot of money.
In terms of like perseverance and determination, I do think counting to 1 million is probably a lot of effort.
Right, Fraser, would you rather stare at a wall for 24 hours, right?
Yeah.
Or give loads of shoes to Africans?
I mean, I'm gonna say give the shoes to the African children.
Exactly, why?
Because
the other one's harder.
Yeah, shut your mouth. The fact that is actually true, and you've just proven your point pretty well there. Okay, all right. Other than that, the reason that this has been controversial, the first thing that he got into shit with, he's got a brand called Feastables, and pretty much it's just cheap chocolate with Mr. Beast's big old mug on it.
Should have called it Beastables.
But yeah. But why are you not calling it Beastables, you silly boy?
Probably because beast isn't a word we associate with eating, but
Yeah.
Feast is.
Yeah.
I kind of get it. He should have called them
Beastable Feastables.
Beastable Feastables.
That sounds way better than just Feastables. If you want to buy that idea from us, Mr. Beast,
Yeah, get in touch, Mr. Beast.
But yeah, the reason he got into a lot of heat was, firstly, he has this brand, and certain people pulled up some things being like, how the actual chocolate is produced is unethical. And this is where some things I can actually get on board with, because I think the whole conversation with Mr. Beast is a lot of people are deliberately being not very nuanced about it. I think that there is some valid points you can make, but there is some people that are being, on the other side, completely fucking stupid.
This is the thing with the internet.
Some
people either need to be at that extreme or that extreme.
Yeah. There's never like a little middle ground, and I hate to be a centrist sometimes, but you kind of got to be here.
To be fair, sometimes being in the centre makes you the worst because you are just fucking pick a side.
Yeah,
mate.
yeah, but I am picking a side. I am picking a side, but I am saying it in an articulate manner, which some silly people on Twitter cannot seem to do. So, firstly, there is the ethical dilemma of how this chocolate is actually produced. The company Mars, how they produce their chocolate is in an unethical way, and I believe Mr. Beast chocolate is made in the same way. But that wasn't the main issue people were getting mad at. Mr. Beast made a tweet being like, "Boys and girls, I've got like a load of chocolate in the supermarket shelves, and it's messy, as untidy. Could you please do me a favor and just go and tidy it up for me?" And this caused a big controversy.
The picture he showed did look like someone had just gone, "I am gonna fuck that."
I can't lie, mate. After seeing that tweet, if I saw Mr. Beast Feastables just stacked up, I'd just fuck
lever it.
Mate, I don't even have a problem with the bloke, but it's just because I want to be a little nuisance. I just see Mr. Beast chocolate, I just fucking smack it in the face. Say, take that, you pella.
There was like so much though.
Yeah, there was, and it was a big old mess. But I guess the whole thing was like, I mean, you're not paying anyone to do it, and people were like, it's just a bit of a piss take. I don't think he made that tweet with like an evil mastermind plan of like, I'm gonna like get free labor or something like that. I think we know this bloke is happy to give out his money. You know?
Yeah, because to be fair, there's already someone paid to make the aisle look nice again, and that's the people that work at the shop.
When I worked in retail, that was actually a part of the job. When you first started working at Morrison's, the first thing they made me do, maybe it's because they thought I was just completely fucking useless, is they were like, "Mate, you're not going on the tills, you're not going in the back. You're just going to go to around all the shelves and just make things."
Yeah, it's weird. I actually had this conversation with someone else the other day in retail about this exact thing.
Okay.
Right. If the shop was quiet enough and you weren't serving anyone, they'd just randomly go to the dog food aisle and make it look nice. Yeah, and it's called facing up.
Mate, it's the worst job in the world. So Mr. Beast, I mean, it's not the worst job in the world. I mean, I imagine working working in a sweatshop is probably a bit worse.
Yeah.
But it's up there for sure. Being on the front line, being in a sweatshop, working at Morrison's, facing up products, both are all quite equal. I don't know.
I mean, they're close, aren't they? Fucking idiot.
Mate, please, just shoot me. So people got mad at that, and I can get it. Like, I can get why people were like, it is a bit of a piss take. It was the next part where people really, really started to get pissed.
So because what you've just said, like, no one really cares.
No, they did last week, all right? But we're a bit late to it. But I thought we combined it into a big Mr. Beast sandwich, you know what I mean? And you can sell it on Mr. Beast Burger if you want. Oh, that's another thing people are mad at, actually. Is Mr. Beast Burger. People are mad at... Now, and again, I can kind of get this. So, Mr. Beast runs Beast Burger, and it is the most fucking atrocious food known to man.
You've had it before, haven't you?
I have. There has been diarrhea over the walls, man. It was everywhere.
Yeah.
It was just explosive. It wasn't, but it made my tummy go a little bit funny.
I had diarrhea all over the walls when Georgia doesn't get me my sweeties.
You are one. You're just a stupid baby, aren't you? Just get a grip of yourself.
I just want my Haribo.
What the fuck are we talking about? Mr. Beast, please, can you release Haribo and send me fucking 6 tons of it?
Mr. Beast would exploit that little chubby baby on the front
Mr.
of
Beast
Haribo.
Would punch that little chubby Haribo baby.
Kid.
He'd just start kicking it in the face. And he'd give it a pair of shoes and say,
okay.
Smile for the camera.
He'd fucking gouge his eyes out. And
Jesus!
Then fucking put him back in and go, look what a great deed I've done.
He just starts fucking He's like, and then he puts a little band-aid on his face and he says, smile to the camera.
Yeah. Also, we got you a Lamborghini. it's like I'm fucking 5 years old, you cunt.
And also there's a pair of fucking clogs and he throws a pair of shoes at him. But no, so people got mad at the Beast Kitchen as well, because pretty much Mr. Beast Burger, I believe, is made in a ghost kitchen. And Eddie Burback recently made a video speaking about ghost kitchens and how unethical they are. And they are. If you don't know what a ghost kitchen is, pretty much on apps like Deliveroo, Uber Eats, because of the amount of like there is being ordered on those apps, they need like certain like basically factories to mass produce everything quickly and on time. So companies will send out their ingredients and recipes to these ghost kitchens, and there'll be minimum wage paid people in these places.
Yeah, because to carry out the supply and demand that Deliveroo and Uber Eats needs cannot be performed sustainably or viably if it's done in an ethical manner.
Yeah, in a way of like they're in good working conditions, they're in good pay, and I don't care what anybody says. Maybe he's paying the Mr. Beast like Ghost Kitchen workers a bit more than what they're usually paid. But I've seen Ghost Kitchens. They're not really far from around the corner. They're all over London, and they look awful to work in. They're tiny, and I can get again why people will be mad at that. And this is the thing, right? I think the bloke does a lot of good things, but I do think that a lot of it comes down to capitalism and like how a lot of it, when you go around doing the things like Mr. Beast Burger, the chocolate stuff, there's always going to be an ethical dilemma of like, getting to that point B to point A of coming up with the idea, manufacturing and producing it. In that way, there is always going to be people that get exploited.
Yeah, but if he wants to get that level of sort of financial success, which is obviously, what he cares about, he's not going to be doing things the most sustainable and ethical way.
And this is...
he's, to be fair, he's never come out and sort of tried to produce that vision of what his like success is built upon. If that makes sense.
But I think you could argue that he should do that given how rich he is.
Anyone should do it. But
100%.
That ain't the real world.
Like I feel like I pay the people that work for me a good wage. I have a researcher that I believe I pay like £22 an hour, which I think is a pretty fucking sweet wage, right?
Yeah.
They're working part time, but like when they do the work, they're getting a good amount. And I pay my editors a weekly amount, and I will, even if I don't work on that week and they don't edit anything, I will still pay them the exact amount. Just because it's like I know financially I can afford that, and I think it's only right for me to do that, because I think to kind of make this like housecape that we live in a little bit more better is if you are in a good financial situation, do your best to invest your money into people rather than just yourself. And I don't get me wrong, I do like to have money, and I do like to I don't invest in anything, but I like to save. I don't have any property or any shit like that because I just don't give a shit that amount. But I think going back to Mr. Beast, I think he could probably do it in a more ethical manner. But then we get on to the real meat and potatoes.
Well, for all of you non-meat eaters out there, the real potatoes.
Sweet potato, and hummus.
Before we started recording, Fraser started dipping prawns in hummus and eating them.
Mate, it's protein heavy. It's a delicious little snack.
The iNabber allegations. Jesus.
Shut your mouth.
You weird little cunt.
Mate, do not disrespect the prawn nation, all right? Okay, so basically, Mr. Beast, he went into South Africa, I believe, and was like, boys and girls, I've got all these shoes. Gave like 20,000 people shoes. It's a good deal.
I'm fucked off. You made it sound like you did that in about 10 minutes.
But okay, there is I mean, he might have, to be fair. Bloke just flew on his private jet, fucking landed in the middle of nowhere.
Do you reckon he was just sat on the plane surrounded by sneakers?
I like the idea that they sent him on like an AI drone plane, so it's just him on there. So the bloke isn't even on a chair. He's just fucking strapped down with 20,000 pairs of just Doc Martens around. But the one thing that the issue I had with the video is I actually saw the shoes, and I don't think those shoes are given the infrastructure of where the shoes were given out. Like the floors didn't look appropriate. I feel like you should give out more like boots or trainers or something, which would like be easy to walk on. Bloke just gave out shoes that we'd wear to school, sort of.
Yeah, but I think you've also got the argument where it's good that the kids have the opportunity to wear.
Mate, don't get me fucking wrong. I am always like, I'm begging for like billionaires or millionaires to use their money in good ways. This is a good way. I'm just saying, like, he could have just thought about it and gave him some, like, I don't know, some fucking Adidas Predators or something. I do think it's a good thing, and it comes into the whole conversation of nuance. Right now, we've had an ethical conversation. We've had a conversation about ethics, but we've also said this thing is good, this thing is bad. And I think the problem is there are like a plethora of fucking YouTubers that suck Mr. Beast off.
Yeah.
They suck the guy dry, and it's probably because they know that they're nice to the bloke, they get him into collaborations, and I follow him and he follows me. In fact, he followed me after I was taking the piss out of Mr. Beast Burger. And I think there's a lot of YouTubers who are like kind of coming at this at face value, being like, oh, Mr. Beast has done this thing of where he's going into Africa and people are saying it's bad. There are some people that are saying it's bad. Some people are saying it's sick and twisted. I've seen people being like, why does he have to record it? I mean, all of his money comes from recording the things that he does.
There's two sides of it. It's a very good act, and like I think what he's done is great, but there must be some side of it which is sort of like, look at this great thing I'm doing. Oh yeah. But because that's how he generates the views and the money to be able to do more things like that.
The main issue people seem to have is like, we shouldn't be in a world where a YouTuber has to be the guy that goes over to a poorer part of the world and they're giving out certain pieces of clothing and just to make their lives a little bit better. We shouldn't live in a world where that's a thing. But the problem is as much as I agree with that, be fucking realistic.
Yeah, but this has been the problem for decades. Like, the whole premise of charity is that we have to do charitable acts.
Yeah, because like
charities need to exist because governments aren't doing it for us.
I would absolutely love a socialist utopia where everybody has a house, everybody has some shoes, everybody has clothes, and everybody can live a nice little life. But sadly, we're not going to be living in that world for a very, very long time, if ever. I think as much as you can say these issues, and I don't say you shouldn't say them, because you should ask the question of why is this even a thing, but to take that and use it as a criticism towards Mr. Beast directly, I don't think is fair. I think he's done a very good thing here. Even if he is doing it for himself, I still think it's a good thing.
Yeah, even if he's doing it for his own self-image, which, I don't know the guy, so I can't really say if he is or not, but the fact that it's still having probably a net positive. Yeah,
people are getting benefit. Like I saw a tweet, it was like all these people on Twitter are being like, "Oh, this is such a terrible thing because he's making it about himself and he's profiteering off it." But it's like, but then they were like, "But think about those people that the blind people, for example. Think they've now got access to their fucking eyes and shit."
Yeah, exactly.
Like, they're not going to be bothered about the ethical. People on Twitter don't care about this thing as much as like there is things people should care about. Like people don't care about the majority.
Even if Mr. Beast came up to me and went, "Can I give you these really expensive traders?" But the caveat to that is I'm going to film it.
Yeah.
You're not going to go, no.
Yeah, man. It's like do your thing. There was a few videos out there as well, which I guess you could be like, yeah, this is not aged well for all of his calls. Oh wait, I think we can't actually. So the guy is private in his Twitter account.
Like the last 20 minutes?
Literally the last 20 minutes. But pretty much it's a video of Mr. Beast going up to a homeless person, giving him something and asking him to smile on the camera. And he, at the end, and he's like joking around being like, see, homeless people don't care if I use them for charity. And this is quite an old video. Use them for views.
I mean, that's not great.
Yeah.
And also, I don't really like the videos a lot either where people are just going up to homeless people.
That's fucking disgusting, yeah.
Because like that is where it's like, you're just doing that to make yourself look better.
Yeah, because at least Mr. Beast is doing this on a grand scale. It's not like he's going up to just one person and being like if Mr. Beast went up to like one random homeless dude, recorded himself being like, I've just given this guy this stuff. It's like, to be fair, the bloke is going up to thousands of people at a time, changing their lives. That is fine. I can take the bad for the good sort of thing. I can see a guy who probably is doing it for his own like self-gain, but he is also changing the lives of people, whether it's moral or not moral.
Yeah, maybe it isn't great to record a lot of people and,
do
it to make yourself look better, but also the impact that it's having sort of means that it doesn't really matter that he's doing that.
There was one part of and I get why he did it because it is about shoes, but there were like tons of like up close shots of the kids' feet, and I'm like, did he just get a cameraman to go up to the kids? He's like, just show us your little pinkies, and they were just following along. That was a part where I genuinely thought uncomfortable. Maybe it's because feet grossed me out, but it was just the fact that he's gone up for the close up shots, man.
The close up dogs.
Yeah, he's getting the dogs on camera. But I think that what we can sum this up with is just like, I think the problem is, again, it's like I'm not trying to be a middle ground. My stance on it is I think there is an ethical dilemma here of how things are produced, how things are actually coming into place, but also at the same time you cannot deny that lives are being changed, and I don't really think many people are denying that. I think both sides are being quite unfair onto each other, but the people who are just being like, oh, it's people just getting mad at Mr. Beast for being a nice act, I don't think people are getting mad at a nice act. I think people are getting mad around the bigger grand scale issues, but again, that's not really Mr. Beast's fault. The systemic issues of the world aren't directly Mr. Beast's fault.
Well, no, it's just like an example of the disadvantages of like capitalism.
Yeah. Like this, your issues are with the system, not with Mr. Beast.
Well, yeah, there's just the consequences of a high demand society that we live in.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I think I got a similar take to when we spoke about him curing the blind people. It's like multi-millionaires aren't going to be doing everything
for a moral, for a personal moral reason. Yeah,
because if you're able to make that much money, you're going to become a little self-obsessed.
And also, if you've made that amount of money, there's no way you can get to a point. I think Mr. Beast has over 100 mil, and there's not really many ways you can get to having 100 plus mil in an ethical way, other than like, there are very few ways. I mean, if you write a sick book series and you sell the books and you become get millions off that, that's a pretty ethical way to make money for the most part. But even then, you can say, well, mate, you're fucking mass-producing books, which is pages from trees, and those trees come from certain areas of the world. It's like, there is honestly, I hate to bring up the most generic phrase of all time, but there is like no ethical finish it for me.
Consumption under capitalism.
Thank you.
But also, like, sure, some of the things you do are a bit sort of, off. Yeah. And they're like, criticisms you can have, but he's by no stretch of the imagination is he, any example of the worst that is out there.
Yeah, exactly.
He's, very tame as a evil capitalist can get.
Yeah.
If anything, I think his heart is for the most part in the right place.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think he's probably a nice dude, and I think that each side need to understand each other's issues. Issues have more nuance on both sides, and it's like we could just have a very easy and polite conversation about this without going at war with each other, but I guess you can't do that, because if you criticize Mr. Beast, his fans will just fucking eat you up like they eat Mr. Beast burgers, and if you criticize people criticizing Mr. Beast, they'll also just, I don't know, go absolutely mental at you.
Yeah, but then again, when you get to both extremes, people are too fucking self-absorbed.
They're just stupid bellows.
Well, no, they're not self-absorbed. They're sheep. Yeah. And they're sheep, and they can't be bothered to have an opinion for themselves.
Yeah, sheep like Wendy Bonkers Brown, that dirty scat. Yeah, but that's our takes on Mr. Beastinho today. Do you want to speak about anything else? Is there anything on your mind before we go into the next topic of interest today? Anything cooking in your fucking peanut brain?
What's cooking in my peanut brain?
Getting the dogs
Not
out.
Much, mate.
Blooming owl. Look at that. Getting very nice and white socks today, mate.
These are Georgia socks. Oh. If you want to see more pictures of me wearing women's socks, follow me on Twitter.
Mate, we are defeating gender norms on this podcast. If you're stupid fucking socks, Georgia, please never let him wear your socks again. They do look quite tight on your feet, to be fair. They look like skin tight socks almost.
That's good, because they keep my tootsies in a straight order.
Did you need your tootsies to be in a straight order?
Well, yeah, definitely.
Your big clonkers.
Yeah, if they get a bit out of shape, and it's bad for your entire body, because you're walking on them all day.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Let's just get into the next thing. All right. So it does stick onto the topic of Twitter, because recently there are two issues of Twitter. Not only have I noticed that Twitter has become like vampantly more like since Elon Musk bought Twitter, it's just become like a transphobic hellhole. And I'm not just saying that to be like a big old like because like when people say that, you're gonna be like, oh, the woke warrior or some shit. I'm like, no, mate. I go onto like my new TikTok for you page, because that now exists, and it's just like the most abhorrent stuff.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. First of all, I'd like to say I've never been on Twitter where my feed has had so many more people that I don't follow.
Yeah, because this is the thing. He's changed the algorithm now, of where it's like, even if you don't agree or like the post or retweet, just because you look at the tweet or something for a little bit, it'll keep on appeering, and tweets like it.
Mate, it's bad. And it also seems to be all of the tweets of people that I don't follow all happen to be really awful people.
Yeah, they're literally like the worst of the worst. The worst of all of them is literally Elon himself. Recently, the last week, the bloke has just been on a fucking meltdown.
He has truly, lost it. And I think this is an example where him coming out with his stupid, snarky little comments.
Yeah, he's finally going to face the repercussions, clearly. Like, yeah. I mean, he's for what we're about to go into, the bloke's apologised because he pretty much realised probably that he could get sued for a lot of money.
Yeah, it riles me up so much. He wants to be the meme guy, doesn't he?
Yeah.
But he also wants to do that whilst being a successful business
mate, literally right now, Twitter is down. Like, it's back up now, but for a second, for one, the website has been functioning terribly because of him. But I watched this video recently about, I think Some Ordinary Gamers uploaded it, where he was speaking about how Elon pretends to be smart. And I used to think, the guy's got to be smart. But, like, he basically held a Twitter space recently, speaking about the infrastructure of Twitter as software. And, like, he was speaking to programmers who were criticizing him and speaking, they were having, like, debates. Elon was saying these very specific things, which he was using as, like, buzzwords to show that he knows about programming. And as somebody who has a computer science degree, I know when somebody's chatting out of their ass when it comes to software, and he was definitely doing that. And the thing is, with this website, he said that the entire website needs a rewrite when it comes to the software.
Really?
That is one of the most stupid things possible. People think that...
It's a bit like when people just throw out jargon to look clever.
Yeah, this is exactly what he's... So he was saying that Twitter is bad, it functions badly, which is absolutely not true. Before he bought Twitter, it functioned perfectly. There were a few issues here and there, but it functioned well. And he's been basically saying that Twitter needs to be completely rewritten, like the whole thing, and built up. For one, makes no absolute fucking sense, because the people that originally designed the software of Twitter or the app are no longer at Twitter. Like, the app designers are no longer there. So you're going to have a bunch of new designers who have never made Twitter before, and they're going to be creating a brand new app based on what Twitter is currently, but better. But it's not going to be better.
So they've been tasked with rewritten, made like the most successful social media platform ever.
But it's not going. But it's not going to be better for the same reasons us that there are issues with the previous thing because they built it very well, but there are going to be bugs which you fix as you go. These new people are going to be building it in a different way because they don't know they're different software engineers to the previous ones, so they're not going to know the how to do it, how the people did it before. So they're going to do it in their own way, and they're going to come across the same issues that the previous people have of there are bugs.
Right, and then we're just going to be like,
yeah, literally. It's
why did we do that?
It's going to be that, and Twitter right now has such like a lack of staff working there, and that's why the website keeps going down, because they're live testing new pieces of like the dislike button and stuff like that. Like, they're live testing new things for the site, but they're not doing it like how any other company would like test something, where they test it in an offline setting with actual testers.
Yeah,
they're just throwing it out there and be like, mate, have a fucking go, have a go on that.
He's done it so much anyway, and like you'd randomly notice like one function has gone on the app, and then it just suddenly reappears.
Mate, it'll be like 7 p.m. on a Sunday, and suddenly you just got this weird, freaky deaky new like piece of thing for the application, and it'll be gone the next day.
Yeah.
And I'm like, sorry boys, that was shit, wasn't it? And it's like, yes, like all the other things that you've implemented.
Yeah, because you've introduced it out of nowhere.
Yeah,
and just expected that you could just like put it there and leave it.
Yeah, exactly, and it just shows the guy has absolutely no idea what he's doing. I don't doubt he's a smart bloke. He is a smart bloke, but like his ego is insufferable, and this is what this thing gets into. So pretty much there was a debate between a guy called sorry I mispronounced that, I'm just going to call him Hal for now.
Call him Harold.
I'm going to call him Harold. I'm really sorry, but I just don't want to just mispronounce it constantly. So this guy who worked at Twitter, he tweeted saying, "Dear Elon Musk, 9 days ago, the access to my work computers was cut, along with about 200 other Twitter employees. However, your head of HR is not able to confirm if I'm an employee or not. You've not answered my emails. Maybe if enough people retweet this, you'll answer me here." Which, alone, before the responses, is absolutely disgusting. Like, are there no labour laws in that country to prevent
Yeah, mate, that seems like an absolute free-for-all. And the fact that he's like spent 9 days trying to find out what the fuck is going on.
Mate, and this guy has hundreds of thousands of followers. He's a multi-millionaire, and even he, who works at Twitter, doesn't know what the fuck is going on.
Yeah, he doesn't even know if he works for him. That's like,
genuinely
that is terrible. Like, it's lucky that guy is like genuinely well off anyway, because like
200 employees there probably aren't that well
I can imagine there's some people there that are like, I'm fucked. Like, I am fucked.
Well, actually royally fucked.
Yeah.
Like, quote tweet, I'd be like, what? How is that even possible? And people are like, America needs labour laws, and I'm like, you don't have fucking labour laws? They must have some, surely.
It is really hard in America for them to pass any laws, because they've got a written.
Because it's the stupidest country on planet. Like, we're an awful country, Great Britain. Some of the things we introduce. The problem is, we have two deflecting issues. Our laws are far too easy to put through. Some of the things that they're putting through at the moment are just absolutely insane.
I guess that is the one positive of our democratic system.
You can vote them out.
You can just go through Parliament if you're the government and go, I want this and I want it now.
Yeah,
and as long as most of your party's behind it, you can
vote that out, and then they can immediately change it, can't they, for the next government? If
you can repeal acts.
Yeah.
It's a very straightforward system.
Which is good and bad, but when you get a fucking horrific government like the Conservative Party, who are somehow a million times worse than they were 13 years ago. Like, I feel like 10 years ago, the Tories were like trying to be a little bit, not liberal, but like a little bit nicer than what the fuck they are now. It's horrific now. Yeah, sorry to go off topic. So Elon replies to that tweet, and Elon doesn't give an answer. He just says, "What work have you been doing?" Which is just a bizarre.
Do you know why that annoys me so much? Because I haven't been able to do any fucking work because of you. It's like,
but Elon, the tweet, Elon got 14,000 likes on that
tweet. Mate, that is like, right,
in an hour.
That is like you working in an office, your boss taking your computer away from you and just leaving you there for a week, going back next week and go, why the fuck haven't you been doing any work?
He looks you dead in the eyes and he just goes, fuck you.
Yeah, because that's not even funny. He's just being a twat.
Yeah, this is the thing. Like, I don't get how this guy has stands. And even if you disagree on the intelligence aspect, the software aspect, you can't deny this guy's a prick.
Yeah,
like, this guy is a major bellend.
I know people aren't going to agree with this comment, but normally the one thing you do get with awful right-wingers is that
they're funny.
They sometimes have funny posts.
Donald Trump, Donald Trump, one of the funniest people.
Because they're
so terrible.
They're so self-absorbed that like what they come out is so ridiculous, it's hilarious.
Yeah, but
Elon Musk is just it just boils my blood.
He's self-absorbed, but he also tries to be funny. Whereas Donald Trump is funny because he is so.
I think it's the lack of self-awareness what makes it funny. But I think Elon Musk knows that he's a dickhead.
Yeah, and now he's just playing. He's becoming like fucking. What's that guy from DC called? The bald guy everyone calls Jeff Bezos. I can't. People in the comment section I know. Lex Luthor. He's become fucking Lex Luthor, billionaire who runs runs the world pretty much, and he's just absolutely horrific. But then Harold replies saying, I would need to break the confidentiality question here. If you could have your lawyers write in, I'd be happy to discuss this openly. And then Elon goes, it's approved. So Harold just lists everything, man. He goes, I've led efforts to save about $500K on a certain contract, support a closing down and many other stuff, led prioritizations of the design projects, led design crits to help level up design across the company, was hiring managers. He's just doing a lot, hiring managers across all design roles, worked on efforts to steer the company away from focusing on power users and onto younger users because our user age is basing. And then with that, you think, great, you're doing tons of work. Elon then replies with other questions being like, level up what design to what? Pics or it didn't happen. This man is fucking chronically addicted to Reddit. Get a grip of yourself, you stupid bellend.
He is talking like
man said pics or that didn't happen.
Yeah, mate, that's like one of the most powerful people in the world.
Mate, he's the richest man on planet Earth and he's saying pics or it didn't happen. Mate, if I worked at McDonald's and my boss said, what have you been doing today? I said, I've just been, flipping burgers or some shit. And he goes, pics or it didn't happen. I'll fucking slap the cunt.
I'll fucking walk out.
Yeah, like what? It's an absolutely bizarre statement. But then he replies with a little meme saying, would you say you're a people person? And a little like fucking film video.
What is likable about this guy?
The only reason people suck this guy off is because they want him to like boost their crypto shit or something, or boost whatever money, or possibly give them some money. Elon Musk is not going to give you money. He's not going to give you the big sloppy woppy. He is just going to make you look all like mugs.
He's just going to go, haha, fuck you.
Elon Musk does so many promises and stuff which don't happen. In like 2014 with Tesla, he was like, we're going to have self-driving taxis within the next 2 years. Every 2 years, he's been saying the exact same thing.
Tesla car next year will probably be 90% capable of autopilot. So 90% of your miles. We're probably only a month away from having autonomous driving, at least for highways.
Self-driving will be 100 to 200% safer than a person by the end of next year.
I feel very confident predicting autonomous robotaxis for Tesla next year. I'm extremely confident of achieving full autonomy and releasing it to the Tesla customer base next year. I mean, it's looking quite likely that it will be next year.
He makes these promises and people are like, wow, he's so intelligent. Well, it's not fucking happening. The bloke promised to go to Mars by like 2020 something. That is not happening.
No, if I had that much money, and I'd probably just go, let's make up some random thing that's going to happen and see if it comes true.
My favourite Elon Musk invention is when he reinvented the tunnel, of where he made a tunnel which Teslas can go through, where it makes it go through the tunnel at a fast speed, and it's more efficient than going through highways and stuff. And I'm like, Elon Musk, congratulations, mate. You have discovered the fucking metro system. Because not only is that system even shitter than the metro system, because you can only get 4 people into a Tesla or 5 people, but it's so much more like just ridiculously like stupid because not everyone owns a Tesla. If Elon Musk built a metro system where he was building these tunnels, mate, it would be amazing. Like that would be fantastic, because America has a transport problem where you do need to drive everywhere. And if this guy one day was like, I'm going to spend my billions fixing the infrastructure of this country, I'd be like, well, I can't. It's like the Mr. Beast thing. It's like, I know you've got your money in some weird way, but like, I can't criticize the fact you've done a genuinely good deed.
But instead, I'm just going to troll this guy on Twitter and it's going to backfire massively.
Yeah, this is it. I mean, he's not going to be able to afford to fucking build a metro system now because he's probably going to be sued millions. So after that, it just goes everywhere. It goes viral. And Elon's doing other things. Like he called the person, in a tweet, he described the guy as he is the worst. And it's like all the guy did was make a tweet because he resorted to his final thing. Like he tried to contact you. He tried to contact HR. There was nothing more he could do other than simply making a tweet at his boss.
Yeah, he literally went, mate, do I have a job?
Yeah,
and Elon Musk has gone, haha, fuck you.
Well, somebody is like taking screenshots of the tweets, and then Elon doubles down going, the reality is that guy who, in quotes, is independently wealthy. I mean, that means fucking nothing. You still employ him. He still has human rights. He did no actual work, claimed as his excuse that he had a disability that prevented him from typing, yet was simultaneously tweeting up a storm. This is how you know this guy's a fucking idiot.
I think that is so crazy, because I think that's what's made this backfire the most.
Because he's going to be sued for actual ableism of directed towards an employee. But also, the bloke who is the tech king doesn't realize that there is a little button on your phone where if you speak, it will type for you, which a lot of disabled people do use.
My man didn't know reasonable adjustments in the workplace.
And it's just like insane to me that this guy, that not only does that tweet have 112,000 likes, so you got a bunch of brain dead morons but like backing him up, but also you've just got like this bloke who clearly doesn't understand text to speech, but speech to text, but also it's just insane that the richest guy who owns this guy's in charge of the contract to get to the fucking moon.
Yeah, mate, it's so mad. These people don't have any capacity to have any critical thought whatsoever.
It is just insane because he is so egotistical that he can't just stop. And in fact, he made a bunch of other tweets about this guy, and like within like a day, he made a tweet basically apologizing and be like, "Oh, we got on call and sorted it all out. It was a complete miscommunication." It's like, what was miscommunicated? He told you what he was doing. Yeah. The only thing that happened there is I think Elon's lawyers were like, "Mate, you got to stop being a little bell end. You're going to get sued hundreds of millions of dollars," because apparently also there was like a thing, I don't know the specifics here, but a contract in place of where this guy would have to get like paid 100 mil.
I think it was like 150 million.
If he was fired by Twitter, right? Or something like that, because of some contract they've got.
I imagine it wasn't as simple as that.
Yeah, of course. Of course.
Like, imagine if he just did anything at all to get fired just to get that payout.
I think it'd be like fired for unreasonable means or something like that. But it's just insane. And this guy, he's so unbelievably insufferable, man.
Yeah.
The absolute state of the website at the moment because of his ego and how mate, the thing is with Elon Musk, right? 5 years ago, I thought the bloke was like a genius. Everyone used to think, oh, this guy's like our Tony Stark or something, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But now it's like, because of this man, this could be applicable to so many people, because the man just cannot stop fucking tweeting. He's made himself out to be a complete and utter bellend.
He has turned Twitter into like a dystopian wasteland as well.
Yeah, if I wasn't addicted to this hellhole of an app, because people will be like, well, why are you still using it? Is because, for one, it's good not because of Elon owning it. It's good because of what the people who made it. You know what I mean? All the changes that he's implemented have made me use the app less. I'm still using the app based on the foundation that were created by the original developers.
Well, the people that actually make Twitter the best Twitter can be is the people on Twitter, isn't it? Like the users. But the problem we've got now is that for some reason something's happened where everything that pops up on my feed is hateful and disgusting. Yeah. And I'm telling you now, they don't represent my views, and I'm not liking tweets like that. So why is it coming up?
I keep getting so much transphobic stuff on my timeline, and it's not because I'm liking it or posting. I look at it in pure getting annoyed and stuff, because it's just insane how Twitter is just now basically promoting it, and I genuinely don't think there is a coincidence, but I mean the fact that Elon has children who are trans who no longer speak to him because of his own actions and stuff, and I think that he is just extremely bitter about the world, and I think his app is now being used to promote these sort of hateful ideologies and stuff. And it's insane to me because like these trans people aren't doing anything other than just trying to be who they want to be or who they feel that they are. Like, there's no problem with that.
It's the same old thing. I mean, he came out and said we're gonna sort of make this app be more sort of towards freedom of speech and that sort of thing.
I guess there were debates of people getting like banned very easily and stuff, and I can completely understand that. Not banning as many people, that's fine, but promoting certain things.
Yeah, but now it's become more of a hateful cesspit than it ever was. Yeah, and it doesn't really seem there's much freedom of speech, because that would infer that you see reasoned arguments between both sides, and at the moment all we're seeing is sort of an echo chamber of like far-right, hateful, fucking fascist ideologies put forward.
It feels like right now as well, like hatred towards like the LGBTQ plus community. I mean, I know it's been much more in the past, but right now it's just so unbelievably rife. I don't know if I'm just like hyper-focusing on it because I've noticed it a bit more, but like it just seems that it's everywhere. And this can move us into our next thing with Jeffree Star, because recently he has been in like loads of controversy to do with like the LGBTQ plus community, where he's been speaking about non-binary people and they, them stuff, dubbing non-binary people and like pronouns as this thing that was invented during 2020 pretty much.
How are you a they? What the fuck does that mean?
Man realised what pronouns were.
This is the thing I don't get.
The thing you learn about in like reception at school.
I don't understand, like as this argument's been said so many times now, but as like people that get mad at pronouns, it's like you do realise that you have pronouns, but also pronouns have been used since the beginning of time. Like everything has a pronoun, you know what I mean?
Pronouns are just necessary to any language. It's like
It's a table. That is a pronoun. It is a form of a pronoun. Like they is a pronoun. Just because somebody chooses to use it to no longer identify as like she, her, and these people think that you want to change up the whole landscape of like gender and stuff by doing that. It's like, mate, they're just asking you to refer to them in a way that makes them comfortable.
It's really weird. People think that by having pronouns that makes you trans.
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah.
If you know what I mean. Yeah. But like, everyone has pronouns.
Yeah. Everyone, not just trans people. Like I have pronouns. You have pronouns. And like, you don't need to go and put. If you want to put them in the bio, in your Twitter bio, absolutely fair enough. Go ahead.
There's quite a few arguments when like people try and put about why they disagree with transgender people. I don't know how to say it, but basically when they're just trying to be a dickhead, basically, be hateful. And it's normally their argument falls apart at the very first hurdle because they're just scientifically wrong a lot of the time.
Yeah, this is the thing. Like all these like political figures are like they've been out, they're arguing and they're upset, and their main argument is that when you bring up the science aspect of it, they'll be like, well, this is science has mysteriously only appeared in the last like 20 or 30 years or so. Well, obviously, but that's like saying when Charles Darwin came up with evolution, when he was like going around like, boys, I've created this new thing. It's like it's called evolution. Is how we were actually came here to be. It's like what if somebody. I mean, people did. To be fair, they would go up to him and be like, oh, well, that's pretty mysterious that this has only just been invented. It's like it wasn't just invented; it always existed. But things get names and labels. This is the thing where it goes into Jeffree Star of people being like, Jeffree's like ranting about labels and stuff. Labels are a good thing. Like labels help us determine what a specific thing is, how this thing is, whether you want to interact with this thing. Like I can say, is this a horror movie? It can be implied to anything. No, I might not want to watch a horror movie because I don't like spooky films or something like that. I do like spooky films, but I do blooming love spooky.
What's your favourite spooky film?
I've got a blooming lot of them. I love The Conjuring. I love Hereditary. I used to hate Midsommar, but I've come to like him to it. Insidious 1, 2, absolutely great. What about you?
Monsters Inc.
You are one little man.
It's what, mate. It's terrifying.
Mike Wazowski in his stupid eye.
Yeah.
And Sully in his fucking weird face. But we'll get into this TikTok now. We've stalled enough to get into this Jeffree Star. And like, there may be some context we're missing here, but it's like I feel like you only need the face value of what he's saying here because he's tried to kind of deny that what he said in this clip was taken out of context. But I don't know how.
I liked it when he was just making yak farms.
Yeah, you need to go back to shagging your yaks, mate.
To all the other bullshit. I think.
What other bullshit?
The they and them.
Yeah.
And all that extra shit that we added during the pandemic because everyone was so bored on their fucking houses. They just started to make up more shit and more shit.
More stuff.
Yeah.
It just didn't happen, did it?
People were like, well, I can't leave the house. I might as well be a they. That's not how it works.
Like, the reason that there are more transgender people nowadays, or more gay people, bi people, more lesbian, it's because people are now becoming more confident in expressing
they're more open to revealing that side, revealing that they are that.
And I'm not saying Jeffree is doing this because Jeffree's a gay man himself. I think a lot of people don't realise why the pushback against the LGBTQ plus community is there. People don't want people to express themselves because when people express themselves, that's when more people that's when more people will be like, you'll get people who claim to be straight, but it'll turn out their whole life they were gay, but because of societal standards, they were hiding their sexuality. By us saying it's okay to express yourself, you're now like, you're gonna get more gay people because they're actually going to start speaking about their real...
and also, a lot of people out there, they're scared to come out and they like almost feel shameful about who they are.
Yeah, exactly.
And like, it can only be a good thing more people coming forward about it because it means that, that shame's taken away to an extent. And, it's easier for people to understand that there's nothing wrong whatsoever with, being gay, being trans, or being whatever.
Absolutely. But let's continue. We're only quite way through this.
That's where the conservatives like me because I'm just real.
Yeah, you do have a conservative vibe to you.
Do you know why that's so funny? Look at Jeff's face in
that video. The thing is, right, like, I don't know if it's controversial to say, but the bloke, like, how he dresses is very feminine, and it's like, how can you just come after people who simply identify as they, them, when you're dressing, like, how you are dressed, conservatives fucking hate that, Jeffree Star. Like, you are dressed up in a feminine way, and I know that's like applying loads of stereotypes, but like, you can't deny it. He is, and like, conservatives hate that. Just because you claim to not be a part of that, you are a part of the community, whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
And like, people like Jeffree Star think, they're only pushing back against the non-binary people.
That's where the conservatives like me because I'm just real.
Mate, they'll push them back and then they'll push you back because that's what's happening. We want to stop like kids from being transgender, and then because I was like, but now we kind of want to stop gay marriage and refer to that.
Yeah, anything that breaks the nuclear family mold.
Yeah,
you can't stand it. I mean,
but you can't have a you can't. I mean, I still say a family that's a nuclear family. If you have like two gay people and they have kids, so adopted kids, it's still a nuclear family in my opinion. Like as much as it's not like this, the biological nuclear family.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the traditional nuclear family. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with that in itself, obviously.
Absolutely not. A nuclear family, absolutely. Like it's they're good things. We should promote the nuclear, but also in terms of we should also advocate for there to be gay nuclear families.
But it's the inclusivity.
Having a dad and a mum in your life every day is far more beneficial. As somebody that had a divorced parents from a young age, having to go to your mum's on the weekends and stay at your dad's throughout the week, that's annoying, man. Nuclear family should be a thing that happens. I personally think so anyway, but because it's only better for the children. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I also think
But also, it's fine to. Like I said, I'm not saying it's bad to not be in one. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I wasn't in one. My family were fucking split.
So I was saying these people, anything that doesn't fit that mold, they are against you.
Yeah,
Jeff doesn't realise this, and
they're against you, Jeff. And
you would literally be a walking felony about 60, 70 years ago.
Yeah, literally. And the thing is some conservatives have come up and be like, "Oh, mate, he's one of us. He's one of the Americans." But then you got people like Matt Walsh, who's a fucking terrible person who hates trans people pretty much. He's made a video being like, Jeffree Star is not on our side.
The problem I find with a lot of these views is that sometimes I genuinely don't know if they're.
I'm glad you're stating you've got problems with anti-trans views.
Well, a lot of the time they just seem completely ignorant and uneducated to the point where you genuinely just want to sit them down and go, right, you can't. This is why you're wrong.
You can't.
But they're so irrational over it.
People do try to sit them down and say this. People do try to have debates, but the moment you say it, they'll just lose their mind, start saying some random shit which makes no sense, but it just tries to back their argument, and they'll just continue with their stupid shit.
But the weirdest thing is, why do they even care?
I mean, they use the argument of they care about the children, but they don't, mate. They said that about gay people in the 1960s.
If you cared about the children, why were you smacking them when they were kids? Yeah, I'm looking at you, Wendy.
We have to say Wendy Bonkers Brown, no other Wendy to be misconstrued.
No, Wendy Bonkers Brown, only child star. No,
but you are spot on though. They don't fucking care about the kids, because if they did, there's a little thing in America which happens in schools quite a lot, and they would be pushing back for some new regulational laws on those things, but mysteriously they never care. In Texas, mysteriously Texas laws and stuff never seem to care about the kids who are having their lives taken away from them in schools, but when it comes to kids possibly being gay or something, these are
the people that fucking slap their kids down. Not I'm not talking physically, but even just in a verbal sense.
Yeah.
Whenever they want to express themselves whatsoever, unless they're a good little Christian child.
And also, what's ironic about that is, don't get me wrong, I don't think all Christians are like this, but the Christians that are like it, we spoke about this earlier. I was saying to you, these people love to use Jesus as their way to kind of speak against these things. Jesus' whole mantra to why he was so loved is love thy neighbor. The bloke said, love the guy that's different to you, and these guys are like, fucking, you know what, Jesus? I'm going to take that and use that to crucify. That's fucking ironic. to crucify all the people out there that I don't relate to.
Man, we got deep in the subway queue.
we were fucking bored of our minds. Let's continue. We're only halfway through this.
Yeah, you do have a conservative vibe to you.
You're trans, you're male, or you're female.
And you're standing on that.
So mad when I say that.
Mm.
How are you a they? What the fuck does that mean? It's stupid is what it is.
Yeah.
When anyone makes this point about they them, I don't know if they're just doing it to wind me up.
They're Jeffree Star is so.
Because look, you've literally in the last sentence there, you have just used Jeff's pronouns as they, because that is a pronoun everyone has for the most part.
Yeah, exactly.
When you talk about
you have they pronouns.
I don't get it.
you do have your pronouns are he, him, and they. And you don't go traditionally always by they, but I say they about a lot of people. Just because it's it's a way to refer to somebody. These pronouns have always existed, and if somebody feels like they're not identifying with a specific thing, Jeffree has said he is fine with trans people existing, but apparently people on that spectrum who are non-binary and don't have they them pronouns, apparently that's an issue.
But
why
the whole they them one, I really don't know if they make that point just to annoy. Do they actually get annoyed over that?
They do, and it's really, really weird, because it's just somebody saying, can you not call me he? And people will be like, oh, but it sounds weird in a sentence. It's it really doesn't when you really think about it.
Honestly,
they did this, they did that. The only reason that sounds a little bit different the only reason that sounds different is because you're used to calling them he, him, or something like that, or she, her, and so then you've changed it up. It does sound a little bit different, and occasionally you will make mistakes, and that's fine as long as you're not doing it intentionally, and you apologize and stuff, and you make sure that you're not doing it to be a dick. You know what I mean? It happens a lot. But these people, the only reason they're saying things like this is because people, well, for one, Jeffree Star is absolutely beyond irrelevant at this point, and I think Jeffree knows that this is just going to run. He literally said, the conservatives love me.
That's what I think, though. I think a lot of these people come out with their crazy, stupid statements just to like try and become relevant again.
Absolutely, and he just, as I said, he said, the conservatives love me. He's not making it like shy that he is desperately...
Mate, just clean up your yak shit. No one wants to hear it.
It's just clear that he's desperately trying to appeal to these conservatives.
But he's done it for attention, and he's got it, because look what we're doing now.
Yeah, but the funny
Cheers,
thing,
Jeff.
But the funny thing is that these conservatives aren't even taking it. Like, as I said, a bloke who is a terrible person called Matt Walsh uploaded a video, and we're not going to watch all of it. I just want to kind of just a sheer premise of it.
Today for our daily cancellation, I must again, unfortunately, cancel people on my own side, or at least theoretically on my own side. These are the conservatives who, over the past few days, have been frantically applauding their latest hero, their newly elected spokesman, their trendiest new conservative champion, Jeffree Star. And for those unfamiliar, as I was until 2 days ago, Star is a social media influencer and owner of a popular, I think, cosmetics brand. Star also enjoys dressing like a woman.
And there it is. That's exactly what I haven't even watched this fully. I hadn't even seen that part. It's exactly what I just said. They don't fucking care if you are he, him, Jeffree Star. They see you dressing up as in a feminine way, and they hate that.
He looks like a transphobic Richard Osman.
He actually does. What the fuck? Do you know what I love about these people as well? It's like, this bloke is minted. You can see, look at the set and everything, man. Guy's got tons of money, production value, and his like whole thing in life is, me, the rich guy, I'm gonna go to all the people who are struggling in life, and I'm just gonna fucking take a massive shit on them.
Yeah.
That's sad.
That's what they do, these rich people. They want the working class to fall out with each other, so whilst we're having our little arguments about identity politics,
exactly,
they're able to like shit on us even harder.
Yeah, I mean, genuinely, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, Matt Walsh, I think is a different case, but like a lot of conservatives, I don't think care as much as they say they do about trans issues. I think that they know it's a grift that they can get a lot of money off because and also bigger the governments and stuff, like the politicians know that they can distract from real issues in the world by getting the general dude to just argue about pronouns. Like, pronouns shouldn't be a debate right now. There are far more pressing issues in the world. We should just let people do what the fuck they want to do as long as they're not harming anyone else, and then move on with their day. And it's like, Jeffree, mate, you going onto these podcasts and saying these things, even if you think them, it's like, why? What? Firstly, why? Like, when we know it's for attention, but secondly, it's just like, you're not helping anybody. You can say that you care about trans people or say that it's fine to be trans, but you are, just by saying like you don't, the non-binary or the they them stuff doesn't make sense. That then impacts trans people as a whole. That even affects gay people. It just affects the whole LGBTQ plus community in the world. Because, as I said, they'll press on one thing, then they'll move on to the next thing.
Take a good hard look at yourself, mate.
You stinky bellend.
You've let me down this week.
I'm gonna go for a little wee. I'm
going for a wee.
Yeah, we won't take a long break though. I literally just need to go for a wee, and
okay,
then we'll go into some of our final stuff. But be right back. Give it a little cut there.
2 seconds later.
What's up? How you doing, little man?
Pretty good, mate. Had a wee. Got my cup of joe.
We're cooking. We're back, and
you've done your laps of the flat.
I didn't do any laps. I made you a cup of tea, a cup of coffee.
Sellotaped your blinds to the window.
Respect my fucking...
I've just realised you can see the sellotape.
I know, it looks so stupid. So we're going to be speaking now about a little topic, a little chestnut that a lot of people love to talk about, which is, of course, and you just surprised me the fact that you actually know who this individual is. Amberlynn Reid. How do you know about Amberlynn Reid? Sorry, it's just so jarring that you know who Amberlynn Reid is. Such a niche person.
I like watching weight loss content. I like both sides of it. I like seeing people's journeys, and I also like, you know, shows like My 600 Pound Life. Just because
you are everything that we're speaking about. What I want to speak about is an issue of what that comes into the issues of what I want to talk about today. You sick man. Now I can completely get it because it is very interesting. Because like when people get to non-traditional body types, I would say, it's like a sight. Like a lot. I can't.
It's a bit macabre, isn't it? I think that's the word.
Mate, they've been having too many carbs.
Carbs.
The whole thing, it's quite a depressing thing. And Amberlynn Reid. She's a weight loss YouTuber, if you didn't know, who started in like 2014. She started her journey at like 300 pounds, and in 2022 she's like 500 pounds. It's quite an obscure. You're trying not to laugh right now, aren't you? let it out.
It's just
it's quite insane.
It's just gone wrong.
So there's a lot of things here which you can say.
I will say, I think the problem with Amberlynn Reid is she started off the channel as a weight loss journey when it should have just been, here's me vlogging.
Well, this is the thing, right? Now, we were speaking about literally about 2 hours ago about my weight loss journey and how much of a big fat bastard I was, because there was a photo, and I'll show it on screen now. I'm not really comfortable with it, but it's on YouTube and a video of hundreds of thousands of views. In that photo, I'm a big boy.
Well, you're a lot bigger than you are now.
Yeah.
Well, you look very swollen.
Yeah, I look like a balloon has gone on my head or something like that. And the thing is, right, a lot of people get upset when you say something like that. Being at that weight, it's not good for you. It's not healthy. It's bad for your long-term health. And I'm not saying like you can't be happy at that weight, and I would never belittle somebody. But for me personally, I know that me being at that weight was bad for me. But the same can be said for overly skinny people. Like, it's not just being overweight, it's also being underweight, which is, I think, is a problem of an argument which a lot of people don't like to speak about. Now, the problem is as you said to me, you like the series is of like a 600-pound person or some sisters or something like that.
Tammy size versus super skinny.
Yeah, stuff like that.
It's just intriguing, isn't it?
That's it. It's intriguing. And the problem is you can come with somebody like Amberlynn Reid, right? You can see that she is somebody who is constantly on another diet every single week. She has failed every single diet in existence. And there are two arguments I can come up from there. As somebody that has gone on weight loss journeys and is still trying to lose weight, because I have gained some weight back, not much, but it's still a scary process. I have failed the same diet multiple times. I've never done more than one different diet because I know what works for me. But like, I know how sad and such a repetitive cycle it can be, and it can make you just binge and binge and binge after you fail those diets. But Amberlynn, there's also the problem of like, so these videos have all come out in the last 2 months. 500 pounds reset, everything I ate today with calories, weight loss surgery update, no more fad diets, I quit Weight Watchers. And then there was a bunch of other videos about specific diets that she's doing this and that. And it's like, you can make the argument that she is going for a toxic cycle, but she also doing this because she knows that this content that she's making is going to get viewed by a lot of people out there.
I don't think it's just that though, because I've been through it before. Obviously, I'm not like slimmest guy in the world by any stretch. You know, I'm a bit of a chubby. It fluctuates, but I find it more successful when I don't tell anyone what I'm doing and I just get on with it. But I think the issue is when you come out and say, I'm doing this diet and I'm going to stick to this way and I'm going to have this and it's a lifestyle change and I'm never going to go back.
And the reason people do that, and the reason I do that and you do that and anyone else does that.
We all do it. I've done it before.
But there's a brain reason to it. There's an actual psychological reason. So by us saying, I'm going to do this tomorrow, because it doesn't have to be weight loss, I'm going to do my work tomorrow. You tell yourself that and it releases a certain chemical into your brain, which is actually like the same chemical satisfaction of thinking that you've done it. I believe it's something on those lines either way. And you've got that nice warm feeling, but when you don't fucking do it, you feel 4 times worse.
Well, that's the issue, and I think someone like Amberlynn, she like put so much pressure on herself to stick to that when she doesn't, she's just like, what's the point? Let's get fucked up.
Yeah.
And then, like, she's like,
but then you can also have the argument of like, she's a very drama-centric person as well. This is the thing. She built a channel designed for weight loss and stuff like that, but it's just drama. And like, as much as I do personally think a lot of the criticisms of her are absolutely bizarre, as somebody that did like an hour and a half iceberg video on her, I know the ins and outs, and like some of the things that people don't like her for are ridiculous, but there are some things that are justified to not like her. My issue is like, I think that her channel is an example of what you brought up of people being like, oh, I find the content fascinating, which is perfectly fine because it is fascinating, but people will see that and I think exploit their own body into then to get views. People like Nikocado Avocado, for example. Yeah. Look at the state of his channel, man. The bloke not only like cosplays disabled people, but he also, I mean, at this point of time, like he may like the weight he's at, he may be like his body probably can't function probably, you know? It's like a weird brand of like fetish size of content that people love. And I think even if Amberlynn doesn't realize that she's doing it, it's just again and again, it's happened again recently with her failing more and more diets. It's just like, I think that this content just is like a vicious cycle of...
You sort of see humans out there like absolute pinnacle of being as far away as possible from what they should be. Because
Exactly.
I'm telling you, when I'm going through like my moments where, because you do get into a state where you're just like, I don't know, you're binge eating, and because you're stressed, you can't.
Have you had family members be like, I don't know about you, but I've had family members be like, you need to like sort your weight out, or I'm worried about your weight or something.
Oh yeah,
like that.
I was a lot worse with my weight when I was like in like 10 or 11 at school.
Yeah,
and
same.
They'd call you like fat, and the only thing that would make you feel better is eating.
Yeah,
so it's like,
and this is and it's like calling somebody fat isn't going to help. And I think bullying Amberlynn, this is applied to everybody. It's like, I think mostly I am like concerned for one, that not only is there a YouTuber here who is going through a vicious diet cycle, which I've been through, which you have been through, which a lot of other people have been through, but then you can say her channel is also bad because it could possibly promote other channels, shows where people do what Amberlynn does for money, and they're never going to help themselves, and they're going to damage their own bodies, and the cycle, it continues with another person, and you're going to get people damaging their bodies just at the pursuit of money and monetization, views, and all that sort of thing. And you can say I'm reaching, but this is a thing. As you just said, the moment we went into this, you love those shows because it is fascinating, and people like Tammy Slayton exist.
Oh yeah, if you see that you're getting money by doing these things, you're going to carry on, aren't you?
Absolutely. And I think that I do think that Amberlynn is also in a state of like, because like, if you go through her channel and it is all just like sad related content. I got bad news, £500 reset. We've got a lot to talk about. Sad in the thumbnail. How I truly feel. Weight loss surgeries. There's so much here, but there occasionally is a good one, like a nice one. But I think she is like in a state of where she genuinely believes that if she doesn't do this content, she's going to lose her form of revenue, which I think isn't true. I think if somebody like her or Nikocado Avocado went on like this mad, not a weight loss journey, but just like a journey of like becoming a better version of themselves. It doesn't mean they have to lose weight, but it means that they not only don't make this style content, which other people can be inspired by and make themselves and damage themselves, but it also just means their lifestyle is healthier. I always say if to somebody, I'm guilty of not doing this myself, but like if I was to give good advice to somebody, it would be like, don't focus on just losing a bunch of weight. Focus on changing your lifestyle, because if you change your lifestyle, it's sustainable and it's going to be a longer process, but you'll feel better about it. You won't gain it all back. Don't do a weight loss Instagram or YouTube. As much as like they are tempting, you can do weight loss posts, but this is just what Amberlynn has done here is why it goes wrong.
The only thing like when I have my moments of gaining quite a bit of weight in a short amount of time, there's usually other things going on in my life that are causing that. I'm not doing it just because I realise I fucking love food so much. Because I still fucking love food.
Well, I actually have I don't know if I can say this without being edgy. I think I have an undiagnosed binge eating disorder. I am genuine. I think I've spoken to you this about before. I am genuinely so bad at binge eating, and it is very emotion based a lot of the time, but sometimes it's just not. Sometimes I just want to eat a fuckload of food, and for me, I go on low carb diets because it controls my cravings, my sugar, I don't have sugar spikes as much. But when I'm outside of that, like I'm so bad at binge eating, and I gain weight quickly because of it. I gained so much weight in such a quick period of time between 2019 and 2020 because of binge eating, and people don't even realize when they're binge eating. And I think even with people like Amberlynn, based on her channel, she doesn't either. People will go to McDonald's, eat so much food, and you'll think because it's just one meal, it's not. But
I'm like that. I can go most of the day without eating, but as soon as I have one thing, I have to eat like fucking like 2,000 calories at once. It's insane.
Yes, like when you go to McDonald's, you get like 5 chicken selects, you get large fries. That's like 1,500 calories there alone, man.
Yeah.
And then I'll get a McFlurry on top of it. I might get some cheese bites. We're going into the 2.5Ks there for 1,000 calories. Like, it's bad. So when I see channels like Amberlynn, I know people don't like her. I genuinely do feel bad for her as much as people do hate her, and I do think people do dislike her for some genuine reasons.
People like these off camera must be aware of what's going on.
They are, and I think that's why she makes these videos, because right now I think she is going for a weight loss surgery thing, but
she said herself in her videos that she feels terrible sometimes when she like goes on the scales.
And this is it's a vicious cycle for monetary reasons, but also for personal reasons. Amberlynn Reid doesn't want to be doing this. There is no way in 2014 she was like, I'm going to set up this master plan. I think the channel was started with genuine intentions, but now it's like this person needs serious help, and it's like not even an exaggeration. And they've gone to people for help. This is the problem when people say, well, she does try and get help, but she rejects it. This is the thing. She'll go to somebody for help. They'll give them genuine advice. She'll be on a good path, and then she'll just stop. And then a week later, she'll be like, I gained weight. I'm going on to this.
She said out a lot with the weight loss journeys, and like, I've not to the same extent, but personally, as soon as you like fail slightly, or you have a little hiccup,
it
can derail the entire.
Yeah, you are like, for example, you'll eat like one bad thing in that day, but then you'll be like, oh, a bad thing. I'm gonna go eat a lot of other bad things,
and then you're like, oh, I'll be all right tomorrow. Yeah, and then you're like, oh, it's the weekend. I'll just start again next week.
Exactly.
And you just give up.
It is like a continuous cycle, and I think that cycle is what started this channel. But I do strongly believe that she does a lot of things deliberately, like the diet stuff. And I think a lot of it is bait. I think she does want to lose weight, and I think she genuinely does try to. But I think that she also is so scared of losing her platform if she does lose weight. And she also is very aware that if she mentions certain diets or fad diets, that it's going to get views, it's going to get money. And it does anger people. I can completely get it. Because this style of content has probably sent people into a lot of bad places. And it's also contributed to a genre of content which is very negative for people of certain body types.
Yeah, I can completely see why watching that stuff's going to put some people in an absolute horrible
I have had people say to me that they watch videos like Nikocado Avocado because they remind themselves that they want to stay skinny. That's like a wild thing that people do that, but they do, and it's like it's wild on all forms of angles of her channel. I do think that she just needs help, but again, she'll probably just like get the help and then reject it a week later and be on to something else. It's a never-ending cycle, and she says she's getting weight loss surgery, but it's like, I don't think the issues are going to end there. I think a lot of it is not. It's not just weight. It's deep lining psychological issues.
You know, I said 5-10 minutes ago. Usually, there's other stuff going on in people's life.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, I can't say for sure whether that's in her situation.
Oh no, mate, trust me. Somebody that's done an iceberg on this woman. There is a lot going on there, 100%. There is a lot of sad things there. Like, she had cancer, and people were starting rumors that she lied about having cancer, and she had to go on camera crying, showing her proof of diagnosis, which is just sick.
I mean, that's just sad, isn't it? That's just so sad.
It's just sick, and it's like, you can be critical, but you don't need to go so fucking far with it.
What I find has helped more with weight loss is when you're not even necessarily trying, you're just having a better time in your life, because you don't even think about food.
Yeah, absolutely.
You just end up getting into a normal routine.
That when I first lost weight, that it was great because I wasn't thinking about it as much. And when you get to a certain weight, you can be a bit more comfortable with it. But you just stick to a lifestyle routine, and you're all good. And I think my advice to her would be like, I've said it a million times, but she just needs to realize, for one, people would just support a healthier lifestyle journey. But I think it's just impossible at this point because she's shit scared that she's going to lose all of her money.
You can see like why.
Yeah, because this is all she knows. Like, it's a really, really sad story. This is all she knows, but sadly, that is going to negatively impact a lot of people.
Yeah, I think when you get sucked into being that type of content creator, you sort of don't know
she becomes like she's like do you know the phrase lolcow? That's pretty much what she is now. It's basically a person that is only known for being dramatic sort of thing, and that's exactly what she is. She's the pinnacle of that, man, and it's just really sad. And like, I try to not be hypercritical about her. Sometimes it's funny to speak, like she had like beef with Nikocado Avocado, funny enough, but Nick even makes fun of her and stuff. But like, I just feel sad when I look at something like this because it reminds me of a lot of the stuff to do with myself, but it also is just sad in general. I think if you don't look at this and feel a little bit empathetic and sad, I don't know what I can really say to help you.
I can tell you now, stuff like this probably was not as prevalent before the internet, was it?
Absolutely not. And that's the whole thing of what I mean about the financial stuff. Like, you couldn't go on the internet and like financially benefit off your weight loss journey, but also the fact that people know that they can make money off it is just going to make it increasingly more popular of a trend to do and make people feel even more bad about themselves. But yeah, I think we're coming towards the end of the show because we've been going for a while now. You got anything to say for yourself?
I'd just like to thank you all for listening. You know, I know it's normally
that's proper.
It's normally a tough hour, isn't it? But you got here to the end.
2 episodes in a row where we've spoken pretty well. We have some goofies.
We're going back to our studio days.
I like it. It's good. I'm glad we're back here. We had some goofs. We'll do some goofy episodes. We're going to do a mini episode after this, which may be a bit silly. Well, actually, no. There are some genuine things on there which are quite heartfelt, so maybe not. But either way, thank you for listening. Please follow our Reddit. Spotify, please follow us over there. You don't realize how much that does help us because one day Spotify might give us 50p to record over there.
And remember to give us 5 stars on YouTube.
And also, please let me know your favorite brand of Mr. Beast Burger down below.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Peace.